Welcome back to Baywatch. This is Dina here with my co-hosts, Rachel and Will.
What's up?
And we are psyched to be getting back into our Crescent City discussion. We're going to be covering chapters 14 to 17 today. All the usual qualifiers apply. We're mostly going to focus on these chapters, but there might be spoilers. Not from me, because I haven't finished the book yet, but maybe if I make really good guesses, like last episode, who knows? Mm-hmm. The last we saw our two main characters who may or may not end up being lovers, who knows who's to say, they were given an assignment that required them to be in forced proximity, which we love. And Rachel, you're gonna take it from there, I think.
Yes, absolutely. And before we get back to our newly proximal dynamic duo, we take a brief detour to Daddy Autumn King and half-brother Rune Dannon,
aka my boyfriend,
Crown Prince of the Valbarn family. Yeah. So Rune stops by Daddy Autumn King's villa, and as the consummate room pornographist that I am, I have to note the room porn that we get because it's pretty nice.
So good. You have to.
It's so good.
It's so good. Okay, so Rune goes to the Autumn King's personal study, which was larger than most single-family houses. Bookshelves rose 2 stories on every wall.
The dream.
Crammed with tomes and artifacts. A golden balcony bisected the space, accessible either by the spiral staircases at the front and back. Wait, I don't know what that means. Okay, wait, hold on.
I spent like 10 minutes trying to imagine that, and then I was like, whatever, it's just gonna be
I'm like diagramming it. Okay, there's a golden balcony. There are spiral staircases leading up to it. Heavy black curtains are blocking the morning light from the tall windows that overlook the interior courtyard of the villa. Interior courtyard? Sorry, everybody.
It's so hot.
Don't mind us. So hot. Oh, it's so good. Literally, Sarah J's best form of like pornography to me is room porn.
And you haven't even gotten to the orrery yet, which to me is like,
buckle in, because there's an orrery. Orrery.
Which I thought was, until I read the rest of the sentence, where owls are kept.
No, it's like because in the back of the study, there's this orrery, which is a working model of the 7 planets, moons, and sun in their universe, and it's all made from solid gold.
Wow.
Cool.
Well, and 7 seems not like our solar system.
Are we down to 7? I thought we had 9 and then we lost.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like, we basically still have 9 in my mind. But also they only have 7 circles of hell. Or 7. So they have 7 planets and 7 layers of hell.
How many layers of hell do we have?
Well, according to Dante, 9, but you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think we're going to glaze over the fact that we don't have a consensus on how many planets are in our solar system. Let's just skip over that. It's hard to keep track. There's a lot going on in the world, and I'm not going to be held accountable for that.
No.
This room is so good. He has 4 massive work tables. That just means you can like have your stuff strewn, like, you know.
And imagine if you're doing several different projects, like each table,
a work table per project.
Yeah,
dream.
And he has a little like chemistry potion area.
Yeah, he has like a little chemistry, like a Bunsen burner. He has black leather notebook. Imagine being able to spend as much money as you want on your black leather notebooks because you're like a king.
Oh my god, he probably has so many
like moleskin. Like
wow.
No, it kind of was hard for me to, I get he's horrible and being like cold or whatever, but like we're introduced this like beautiful room and he's just this tinkerer and he's just hanging around with his like little potions.
Thinker. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's me.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I'm like, man, I wish he didn't suck. It'd be so fun to like hang out there.
Yeah, this is where he spends his time doing his little experiments. And Rune was like, ugh, if only the taxpayers of Crescent City knew what their Autumn King was up to all day.
Sir, have you met yourself and what you're doing all day? But
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. There we are in Daddy Autumn King's study. What a wonderful place to be. We also get a bit more info about Rune. We get a wee little info dump, more like an info, I don't know, shovel. I don't know.
Like an amuse-bouche.
Yeah. So Rune has been the head of the Fae division of the auxiliary, aka the Aux, for 15 years.
Yeah, we need like the org chart.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think they purposely don't have one because everybody thinks they're in charge.
It's like a little militia-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so head of the Aux, Fae division of the Aux for 15 years. He has slightly less power than the Autumn King, which is probably good because it's insinuated that the king might eliminate his rivals.
As they are wont to do.
Sometimes they are wont to do. So less power than Daddy, but he is also the only living Fae, prince or otherwise, on Midgard to be starborn.
That we know of.
Right.
Wait, can we hold on this power comparison? Because I feel like this is always like I'm just like this is fantasy dick measuring contest, right?
Sure.
Because it's like, and it's also a weird notion to be like there's a numerical value we can attach. But so then the fact that he was comparing his power to his dad, this feels weirdly intimate and like a dick measuring contest with your dad.
I'm not picking up what you're putting down respectfully.
Yeah, me either.
Okay.
I do think, like, I mean, maybe that's something that you need to unpack.
I think it's more like resentful, right? Which also, like, how are you comparing the power if like one is fire and one is shadow? Rune's power is from his mom's side too.
Well,
isn't that part of it?
I don't know if we know this yet. And again, this is in the nature of maybe slight spoilers for the rest of the book that I feel okay saying, but when they do the drop, they actually have technology to measure how much power you have when you do the drop.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But it's like a weird, but I'm saying from it's like odd to put that in your world. I don't know, in my mind.
Yeah, but like when there's a whole thing where the king might kill an heir who has more power than him.
Okay.
Then I think you kind of have to think about Daddy's power a little bit. But I'm sorry, I should have been sort of like more.
Yes, and.
Yeah, I should have maybe been a little bit more supportive in that inquiry. And I'm sorry. I'm going to do better going forward.
I think it's more about their like threatened, like he's threatened by him.
Okay, well, I was trying to like kind of
yeah, okay.
soften.
I know, I support you as a friend. Well, I'm always here for you.
Let's move on.
Anyways, Daddy Autumn King. I keep on almost calling him Daddy Night King.
I know.
Daddy Autumn King, he's been in power for a couple hundred years. He's showing no signs of aging. So Rune is looking at being second fiddle crown prince for probably a couple more centuries. To his credit, he is generally pretty disgusted by his Nepo baby situation and the fact that his daddy's money pays for everything. He at least is self-aware and kind of hates that.
Does he do anything about it?
Well, no, but...
But he does beat himself up about it.
Like, sort of. He just, like, drinks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But he's aware of that. Daddy says, look, son, it's time to get married. There's war raging across the sea in Pangera. It might be coming to our shores, so we need to shore up our alliances, and we need you to get married and make a baby. Daddy is specifically contemplating an interspecies alliance.
Wow.
Which apparently is very rare.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And conveniently, Lil Miss Hypaxia, the newly crowned witch queen of Valbara, happens to be making her way into the world. She's 26 years old.
He's
perfect.
He's 75.
Actually, I actually need to take back when I said perfect because that's like a little bit too close in age.
No, honestly, yeah. Bit too close for my liking.
Yeah, like a mere 50 years to bridge.
Yeah, it's like you kind of need at least
boring.
150.
Yeah.
But Mystery Lady, no pictures exist of her because her mother kept her cloistered away.
As if she's going to be anything other than really hot.
Yeah, no, I bet she's going to be super plain looking.
Hypaxia's mom is one of those people on Facebook who's like, oh my God, I'm like so excited that my child is born. Oh my God, I'm so excited that like my child took their first steps today, yada. And then at the end of every post is like, however, like, because I respect their autonomy, I will not be posting any photos of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm excited that we're going to get a witch kingdom into the mix.
Well, I mean, is it a kingdom or is it like a fucking neighborhood like the rest of
I
like
know.
It's like the same shit, right? But
yeah.
there are witches,
Yeah.
and we gather that we'll hopefully be hearing more from them.
Great.
And Micah mentioned, as we discussed last episode, that Hypaxia, new witch queen, is going to be making kind of a debut or like her official acknowledgement as new queen at the summit.
Right.
So she's coming to town soon. So we have that to look forward to. Now, Daddy also says he wants Rune to find Luna's horn, which we have previously discussed.
Mm-hmm.
This was that ancient artifact that was stolen from Luna's temple in the middle of a blackout.
That I just like that Bryce was ostensibly also looking for it and then completely failed, and now she's gotten an upgrade assignment.
Yeah. Everybody was or is kind of looking for Luna's horn. Daddy says it's important for Rune to find it for the Fae due to the ongoing beef with the wolves and the angels and everyone, and the fact that the Fae's power literally has been waning each generation. They really need to score this W for the Fae and get Luna's horn back.
Gotcha. I loved that. I think Rune says that he figured out that this must have come from a meeting with Micah, where Micah kind of insinuated that the Fae's power were not as strong. And I'm like, does Micah actually want the horn? Is he just instigating them to get the horn back? Who knows? Only time will tell.
Right. And also that Daddy Autumn King thinks he's this sophisticated
whatever.
And Micah was just like, ugh, if I just insult him, he'll do whatever I want.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And Daddy mentions that the horn was first wielded by Peleus, who was the first starborn prince of the Fae. And so Rune might find that like calls to like.
Don't you just love when like calls to like? Because I for one, fucking love when like calls to like. Like one of my favorite like mini tropes, I think. It's so fun.
I wish like called to like more in my own personal life, to be honest. But
still
waiting.
Yeah.
Alas. And he also mentions that Peleus, the first starborn prince, blind all of his enemies with his starborn power. And then at the end of this interaction, he asks Rune for a little bit of his starborn juice. And Rune can only conjure a little pinprick of light, and it gives him a huge headache and stuff.
Aww.
Side note, though, I love how SJM describes power and describes tunneling down into the black pit within himself, past the churning well of his shadows to the little hollow beneath. Curled upon itself like some hibernating creature lay the single seed of iridescent light. He gently cupped it with a mental palm, stirring it awake. She's done this in other books, too, and I love the way that she gives you the visual of where the power comes from. It's not just shooting out of their hands. They have to go get it.
It does make me wonder, though, what with my inability to picture things, if I would be able to wield. Maybe I have magic and I just can't wield it because...
Yeah.
Aphantasia.
Yeah.
There's lots of little nuggets here. I think the final nugget that we get is we learn a little bit more about Rune's trip to the Oracle, which is something that all Fae kids, when they're coming of age, do generally. It's a tradition that they go to the Oracle and he says something to them, and it's like revelatory about their future. And Rune lied to his dad about what the Oracle said, and he said the Oracle said that he would be a fair and just king.
That's such an obvious lie.
Yeah. Well, in fact, she actually said, the royal bloodline shall end with you, Prince.
I love this because, okay, so he thinks there are two options here. And I think there are two totally different options here, right? So he thinks either A, that means he's going to die, or B, he's not going to have any kids, right? I don't know about either of those things happening. That would be too obvious. Either something about Bryce's power and the royal bloodline shifts to her or something because she's the chosen one, who knows? Or, I don't know, these people are ripe for another uprising rebellion. Maybe they just decide to get rid of the royal bloodlines and monarchy altogether and become a
Try democracy. Yeah.
happy little democracy. So those are my guesses. It's one of those two.
So the second one makes sense, but I think if it was Bryce, the bloodline isn't that the bloodline continuing?
Right, like a kind of textualist reading.
Oh, she'll end with you.
So.
I guess. But I'm like, I don't know. I feel like they could.
So we'll see, but I just wanted to flag that. Don't know why I said it like that, but anyways. Now, We're back in our minimalist chic penthouse with Bryce. She's home after a long day of work, ready to get cozied up on the couch and watch some reality TV, which love it.
My kind of girl. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But wee little Syrinx won't stop growling and hissing and clawing at the window. And he's all worked out like... By the way, we previously were unclear about his tail, and I just want to clarify... It's a long tail tufted with dark fur at the end like a lion. So it's not like an alligator tail.
I don't know where I got that from. I spent days picturing that, but it's fine. That's
just
important
clear,
detail
he's
to clarify.
Much cuter than that. Oh, and he has like little bird-like talons. So he's just like a cute little weird beastie.
Okay.
So Bryce goes to the window and spots a winged male sitting on the opposite roof, staring right at her.
Who could it be, Rach?
Yeah, she knew those gray wings and the dark shoulder-length hair and the cut of those broad shoulders.
Wow, she already knows the cut of his shoulders.
Mm-hmm. I'd recognize them shoulders anywhere. She gives Hunt a dazzling smile and then slashes the heavy curtains shut. Her phone rings and Hunt growls, "Open the curtains. I want to watch the show." Oh, that's kind of cute.
It is cute.
That is cute.
They chat, they do their banter, cheeky, etc. I love it. So I would read the whole thing, but we don't have time for that. But it's cute.
It is cute.
Right?
Yeah.
Will doesn't think it's that cute. I think it's kind of cute.
Yeah, no, it's mostly cute. It's just like, she's being really annoying. But he was being a dick earlier, so it's like kind of
he's
fine.
also being annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will. Hunt once again sort of calls her stupid in some respect.
That's bad.
Yeah, she tells him to fly the fuck off. Now, she hears a large thud against the window and storms over, throws open the curtains, and he's hovering right outside of her window, which I just like the imagery of that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
Her like floor to ceiling window.
Yes. And I love picturing all the people below just staring up and being like, what is happening?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like, you know.
And he's also like famous, so it's like, what's going on? She refused to back away, even as her heart thundered. She shoves open the window. What? And his dark eyes didn't so much as blink. Striking. That was the only word Bryce could think of to describe his handsome face, full of powerful lines and sharp cheekbones. But what a jerk. Whatever. Cheeky, banter. And he says, "I will do whatever the hell it takes to solve this case, even if it means tying you to a fucking chair until you write those lists." Meaning lists of suspects and Danica's whereabouts before her death. She smirked. Bondage. Nice.
Love that moment. Love that from her. I hope this is, keying us into something that happens like 50 chapters from now.
Cheeky. And she tells him immortality is a long time to have a giant stick up your ass. She puts her hands on her hips.
I love that. She's like that statue on Wall Street now of like the girl in the bowl.
Oh, yeah, the girl boss. Yeah. I just think all the banter is cute. If you're not reading the book, just read it. It's cute. Whatever. I loved also the aside. So she's like trying to do her little girl boss sassy stance. And then it says, never mind that she was completely undermined by Syrinx dancing at her feet, prancing in place.
Oh.
He's just freaking out, wagging his tail. Like, he just loves Hunt.
Yeah.
So cute, wagging his tail at Hunt. And it says, dragging his stare away from her, the angel surveyed her pet with raised brows. Hunt snorted, as if despite himself. "You're a smart beastie, aren't you?"
Obsessed with your Hunt voice.
Thank you. It's not as good as the audiobook. You should listen to the audiobook, folks. But Syrinx likes Hunt, and Hunt likes Syrinx. I think is really cute.
Yeah, I think that's cute too. Even though I love that Bryce also is almost jealous. He's mine. Siri's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for like men with animals, getting along with animals.
Well, that's a common affliction, I think.
It definitely is. The next morning, we find Hunt standing in the misting rain outside of a nail salon that Bryce is patronizing. He's fuming because Bryce appears to be more concerned with getting her nails done than solving this murder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as an aside, I love the description of this nail salon.
Mm-hmm.
It mentions that all of the various species are getting their nails or talons or claws done.
I loved it.
Do you picture it's like, Zootopia with all the like little animal shifters? Like
that is cute.
And some of them are getting like the four legs, and some of them have like really long talons. Like, yeah, I think that was so fun.
I love it so much. The person at the welcome counter is a teal-haired falcon shifter. Obviously, like, somebody with talons is going to work at this place.
Yeah.
I just thought this book, I have to give it to her, is packed with so many little rich
scenes, like little
We can't talk about all of them because we'll be here like constantly, but I just love that.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, so much world building, whatever, but like it's so fun. Like I want to see what their little nail salons and coffee shops are like.
Yeah, there's something little on every page like this. I just think it's so cute. Also, Hunt's outside and something like, I didn't write it down, but he's watching like a family of quail shifters waddle by.
Yeah.
Waddle.
Yeah.
Hunt's out there huffy puffy, fuming, waiting for her for over an hour to finish her appointment. And as he does so, he calls up Isaiah to complain. Now, I quote, Isaiah answers, his voice breathless in a way that told Hunt he was either at the barracks gym or enjoying his boyfriend's company.
Oh, I missed that.
You missed it?
Yeah, I missed it.
Excuse me? I can only say, Sarah, you coward, show us the damn tapes.
Yeah.
Show
Why
us
is this
the
off
tapes.
screen? Why is this off screen? Put it on screen.
Is this gay baiting?
Yeah, probably.
Or is that different?
I don't know what that means.
Is that different?
No, that's different.
No, that's when like a straight guy.
Right.
Anyways, I'm just saying, Isaiah breathless from enjoying his boyfriend's company. We need to see it.
Yeah, to believe
I'm
it.
sick of this nonsense. Describe it.
Even though it does appear that he actually is on a treadmill.
He is on a treadmill,
fine.
I guess.
Next time.
Whatever.
Describe it.
Yeah.
Show us.
Show us that, at least.
No, right?
I can't believe you've missed that, Will. We need to pay close attention to our LGBTQ side characters.
It's just like they're scraps and you have to get them all if you're going to be even a quarter satisfied.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, he's debriefing Isaiah, and it turns out, he's like, did you know that chimeras, which is what Syrinx is, are able to pick locks, open doors, jump between two places as if they were walking from one room to another?
Obsessed with this.
Yes. And he says apparently Quinlan doesn't know because, like, she keeps Syrinx in a crate, when she's gone or whatever. And then he says, well, maybe it's just a comforting little crate for Siri.
Maybe you can stop assuming she doesn't know anything.
Yeah, maybe she does fucking know.
She didn't Google the fucking chimera she got.
Yeah. But apparently, at dawn, Hunt perhaps appeared like he was dozing off on the roof. And all of a sudden, Syrinx appears right next to him, bites him in the ass because he looks like he's falling asleep, and then vanishes again right back into the apartment.
Could not love this more. So cute.
And then Bryce comes out of her bedroom and opened the curtains to see Hunt grabbing his own ass like a fucking idiot, in quotes.
And I just love that he called his boss to, like,
complain.
To be like, I look like such an idiot.
In front of this girl that I definitely don't have a crush on.
Don't like her at all, lest my dick get cut off.
Oh, I love that Siri can do that, though, and I can't wait to see how that continues to play. I think that's so fun.
Hunt explains, when I flew over to explain, she blasted her music and ignored me like a fucking brat. Excuse me. Rude again, but anyways.
If someone was knocking on my window at 7 a.m. expecting me to speak to them, I wouldn't be doing it either.
Although, in his defense, he spent all night outside in the rain to protect her. And then she is just like, I can't hear you. Like, my music's like, too loud.
Yeah, to be fair, like, she kind of is being a bit of a brat, but, like, you don't get to call her that.
Right.
Huh?
No.
We get to call her that.
Right.
Anyways, he gets off the phone complaining to boss friend Isaiah. Bryce finally finishes her very long nail appointment and hugs her nail artist as she's leaving and finally emerges. Hunt basically explodes at her for not working on the list of suspects or Danica's whereabouts like she's supposed to be doing. And he's a jerk about it. And so she's kind of like, oh, whatever. We learn that later that night, Bryce will reveal to him that she actually had drafted the lists of suspects the night before. And she went to the nail salon because she had basically done some internet sleuthing and found the girlfriend of Maximus Tertian, the guy who was murdered. She found out that she worked at the nail salon. And so the nail artist that she was spending all that time with was the girlfriend, and she was getting the tea.
So many thoughts.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Number one, it's what, 36 hours after her boyfriend died? Maybe 48?
Yeah.
And she's just at work chilling, talking about the gossip to a random stranger?
Yeah.
Sure.
Are we gonna roll?
I think we're glossing.
Okay. Cool.
Maybe it was a transactional girlfriendhood, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
maybe it was like Bryce and that rich guy.
Yeah. Like he was the mob boss and she's just, has her nice apartment that he pays for so she could do nails, which is her true passion.
Right.
Yeah. So she finds out that Maximus Tertian and Danica had a mutual acquaintance in the Viper Queen, who is the ruler of the meat market.
Mommy Viper Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Mommy Viper Queen. And she told Hunt she would have told him sooner if he hadn't been such an asshole when she came out of the salon.
Which, fair.
Yeah, fair.
Chapter 16. I want the floor for a minute.
Great.
I need everyone to strap in, prepare yourself for my own personal ick festival.
Oof.
Great.
Yes.
Because we are about to discuss the frat house that Rune lives in.
Ugh.
And I want to say up front, if you want to remain sexually attracted to Rune, you need to skip ahead. You need to skip a couple minutes ahead.
No,
okay?
I will emotionally be skipping ahead.
Yeah. This is tough for all of us, and listen, it's not something that I'm really going to be getting over, but maybe some of us can, but it won't be me. Okay? Where to begin? I'm going to start with a few points, and I know that you guys probably also have thoughts about this, and I'm looking forward to hearing them. But let's cover a few key facts here. Okay? First of all, Rune has been living with his roommate/BFFs, Flynn and Declan, for 50 years. They have been roommates. They have lived in this particular house for 20 years.
Oh.
It's basically a frat house, okay? There's stains on the walls. They're basically constantly throwing parties. They have a beer pong table with some stupid thing painted on it. It's like with some fae eating an angel and like the wings are just sticking out of his mouth painted on the beer pong table, okay? It talks about when Bryce visited when she was in her teen years. They had to like cleaned a ton and hid every bong and bottle of liquor, every pair of female underwear that had never been returned to its owner.
Oh my God.
Every trace and scent of sex and drugs and all the stupid shit that they did. They hid it all when she came to visit as a teen.
Do like straight boys just have piles of underwear that go like, don't you put your underwear back on in the morning usually?
Only if you can find them.
No.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't seem like a place where things are neatly arranged and where you might.
Dina, how many times have you left your underwear
Okay,
at someone's
let's
house?
not.
No.
I'm just saying I've heard that it happens.
It's definitely a thing in movies and stuff, I feel like, to a degree, right?
But also, to the point about scents, oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Ew, that's disgusting.
Ugh.
The chandelier is half ripped out of the ceiling from when last week or something, Declan had leapt off the stair railing onto it, swinging around and swigging from his bottle of whiskey. And must I remind you, these are all cops. But, and I quote, getting wasted was for off nights only, never when on duty or on call. So at least they're really responsible.
It's like,
cops.
yeah, I've like seen The Wire. Like they just get shit faced and drive the car into a pole, but they're off duty, so it's fine.
Right.
Yeah. So these are 80-year-olds who are living like frat guys. Okay.
Can I?
Please.
But you finish, and then I have two things to say in rebuttal.
Ooh.
Well, I was actually going to rebut myself. So why don't you tell me what your rebuttals are? Let's hear them.
Okay. Rebuttal number one. I can fix him.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, but actually, my
Surely.
actual The only thing that makes me cringe slightly less is what I think they've talked about when it comes to Rune and his dad, and what they also talk about when it comes to, I think, his friend Flynn, which is these boys are kind of stuck in this extended adolescence because their dads are going to be ruling for like a few centuries. And then when they're done, they're going to have a miserable few centuries of existence ruling. And so they're kind of not forced, they're choosing, but they're kind of set up to act like adolescents for hundreds of years.
I think that's fair. Also, along the lines of what we previously discussed in terms of everybody being cops. So both with the cop thing and with the 80-year-olds acting like frat boys thing, we have to say that it just looks worse in the modern backdrop of it, where, again, if you're in your old-timey Fey lands where they're like at the wee tavern drinking the ale and like being
going
in
off
the
to
wars
the party
and
cottage,
stuff.
like in the woods that they always go to get drunk.
A little bit easier to swallow.
Yeah.
And we also did not actually have to see, for instance, our beloved Illyrians. We didn't actually have to see that part of their
throwdown
life.
Yeah.
We simply get to hear it in passing when they're all mature, ready to finally settle down.
Which, to be fair, is 300 years after, right?
Mm-hmm. But now we're having to look at it, and let me tell you, it's not cute.
It's not pretty.
I have no sympathy for them.
Yeah.
Or honestly, if I was Rune's friends, I'd be pissed that we weren't at least staying in the really nice villa that he has that he refuses. Why can't we just stay in the villa?
Out of some performative notion of yes, this house was also bought by my daddy's money, but I draw the line at the villa that he's giving me. I draw a line I have. Okay, motherfucker. He does this whole, I hate my dad. I'm like, he's like 17. He's not even 22. He's 17 years old.
I know.
Moody in his fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah. So speaking of which, that sort of brings us into the scene, which is that Rune is lying on his bed, listening to music in his headphones, getting high as all get out on some mirth root.
Sick.
He's trying to blow off steam from his meeting with Daddy Autumn King, which if you have to get high as fuck to like cope with seeing your dad
for like
that
5
is rough.
minutes. Yeah. Honestly, I do get that. So it's
well, I know. It just, again, it's like, yeah, I get it, but you're 80 and this doesn't seem sustainable.
Yeah,
but anyways, you're not 80, Dina.
No.
Rune's 80. You're somewhat short of 80. Anyways, so he's super high, vibing to some music on his bed. And then all of a sudden, Bryce shows up in his bedroom. And he thinks that he's hallucinating because she hasn't been at this house since she was 16 years old before they had that big fight and falling out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does he see, Dina?
Well, this is what I was going to say. He also feels like he's hallucinating. It says his head spun as he narrowed his eyes at her, blinking at the halo of starlight that danced around her head and at her feet.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Looky here. A halo, almost like a crown type of thing. Starlight. I'm excited. I'm in.
I just want you to know, Dina, that I'm on my 3rd read, because I read it once a while ago. I read it once when we were going to start doing this, and then I read it before every episode.
Right.
And it was on the 3rd reading that I noticed this detail.
It was on maybe my 18th.
Yeah.
Conservatively. Listen.
Honestly, very glad that the great books education that I'll be paying for the rest of my life had some merit.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because look at you now.
Look at me now.
Look what you've parlayed that into.
Right.
Picking up small details in fantasy novels.
Returning to Icktown, Ickville,
USA.
Midgard.
What's it called? Midgard.
He thinks he's hallucinating, but he realizes, okay, if she's here, she must need to talk about something important because she doesn't come here. And then he observes, at least she was in normal clothes for once, even if the jeans were painted on and the cream-colored sweater left little to the imagination.
Oh my god.
What?
My god.
Did we... What?
Like,
Do we have to?
No, we didn't have to. We did not have to.
Shortly after he reflects on the last time she was here, how they had to pick up all the female underwear that was there. Dude.
Yeah. So gratuitous.
So unnecessary.
Fucking weird. That really also really gave me the ick.
I also think this is one of those things that we talked about where it's like they have to describe her from someone's perspective. And it just so happens that she sees Rune first and it's him. You know what I mean?
This is 3rd-person narration, so they don't...
Yeah, it could just go sort of uncommented
That's true.
upon.
That's true. Yeah.
So you actually don't really need him to describe it. You could just say it.
It does confuse me. I'm like, wait, am I supposed to be in somebody's mind right now? No, I'm not. Now I am. No.
Mm-hmm. Bryce frowned toward the corner of his room, toward the pile of unwashed laundry and the star sword he'd chucked atop it. But notably, again, don't know if you picked up on this, Dina, but it seems as if the sword is singing.
I was going to say, I was like, I mean, Rune, if you don't want the sword, maybe there's somebody else who it might be a better fit for.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little high. He's a little busy being high. So.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. He's like, whoa, the sword's like singing. Anyways, Bryce is like, ugh, you're too fucking high. I'm going to get you some water. So she storms through the house. Declan is on the couch. Declan, one of the best friends / roomies.
Love Declan.
A laptop on his knee and a very interested Drakey male half sprawled over him, running clawed fingers through Dec's dark red hair.
This is ground no one has broke before. We are
this is queer character number 2.
Right. And we're like 20% of the way into this book, and we already have 2 queer side characters with dialogue.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is true. Also, what is a Drakey?
I actually don't know.
I think they are I think we learned this at some point. The demons slip into the world and sometimes have sex with people. They're the half-demon offspring. Is that right?
Oh, right. They're like demon halvesies. Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm sure like a hot half-demon is hotter because they're half-demon, you know?
Of course.
But yeah, that sounds right. So get it, Dec.
Declan, who's like kind of like tech bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's kind of like a nerdy
tech bro. Very useful.
Coder.
Very useful as a plot device who can sort of just like solve a problem.
No, I love when there's a hacker. You can't have a world in which there's technology and not have a hacker be someone's best friend.
It's all 2000s and 2010s shows have just a tech person who like clickety clacks and they take over the cameras or whatever, and the heist can be.
Yeah, but I do love here how he has a laptop balanced on one knee and like a Drakey on the other knee, you know?
It's perfect. It's everything. No notes.
Multitasking king. Meanwhile, Flynn Snooze has a pretty dryad in his lap. Who can say? Whatever. Bryce is here to ask Rune if he has any intel about the Viper Queen. Because apparently Maximus Tertian was murdered on her turf.
Right. Yep.
And Rune's like, don't be crazy. Like, stay away from her. This is dangerous. Like, why is the governor making you investigate this? This is ridiculous. Like, it's dangerous. Don't do it. I'm going to call the governor. Blah, 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 blah. You know?
Mm-hmm. Men being men.
Yeah.
Also, it's like his job he has so far failed to find this murderer. Like, doesn't he work for the police?
Yeah.
Like, maybe you did your fucking job.
Yeah. And then at some point, he's like, oh, like, why? Like, it's dangerous, like, blah, blah. She's like, oh, don't worry, like, I have my guard outside. So Hunt's waiting outside in the street, and Rune just gets, like, this murderous, like, rah, like, rah, rah, rah. And he, like, jumps off the stair thing. He, like, jumps down.
Right, like, off the porch, yeah.
Yeah, storms out into the street, crosses the street, dents a car as he's crossing the street to, like, go get up in Athalar's face.
He, like, jumps down, and immediately his 2 friends, like, his little boy squad just assembles, like, Autobots roll out. They just, like, they immediately get up, and they're, like, behind him, and they're all walking down together.
Yeah, it's giving Twilight. It made me laugh.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, like, let's go teach him a lesson. So they go out and they are like swinging their dicks around with Hunt, blah, 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 whatever. They're like, yeah, like, bleh, bleh. I was like, bleh. And that's it.
Rune is described, which I feel like is the thing that comes up a lot in fantasy books that I hadn't really like thought through until now. It's like in a killing sort of mood. And I was like, I have no idea what a killing sort of mood is.
And I'm glad to hear that. They're fae. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they're emotional.
They kind of can't help it, I guess, but whatever. As we discussed previously, they have previous beef from when they got into a little fisticuffs. So they just continue that.
I love their flirty dick measuring thing they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, and then Rune is watching Hunt and Bryce.
Oh, I love this.
I didn't catch this, and I was thinking about how absurd it would be to watch this from afar. But Rune studied them as they walked away. Bryce would speed up. Hunt would match her pace. She'd drop back. He'd do the same. She'd edge him to the right, off the curb and into oncoming traffic. He'd narrowly avoid a swerving car and step back onto the sidewalk, which is like incredibly flirty to just be like kind of leaning up against someone as you're walking with them. It's like very childish and weird.
No, I think it's great. I think here's the thing. She knows that he is a man who needs to be nagged.
He does need to be nagged.
he needs to be brought down a little bit, and
He loves it.
she's doing it.
He loves being nagged.
Yeah, he needs it. And I really giggled picturing that too.
Yeah, good for Brycey.
Cool. So let's leave it here. We'll miss you. Come visit us at Instagram, TikTok. Feel free to throw us a 5-star rating.
Catch you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.